The meeting to order.
Flag.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, before we approve the agenda, I thought we might make a couple adjustments to it here. Parmalee Park discussion, we can have it, but we're really not gonna be able to probably vote on anything yet because we haven't.
Yeah, I mean, we
done
discussed it
anything.
last time. I'm working
Yeah,
on
yeah.
all that stuff.
So we could push that.
I mean, I'll just mention it all when I do my roundup on Parmalee, I guess.
And approval of the resolution for sale, we thought we'd have the resolution to vote on tonight. We do not have that yet. Phil hasn't gotten back to us with that yet, so we can push that till next week. And then I have a request from, where is it here? The backstops at White Park. So I'm gonna put that down for D. And Chaz sent me, which I guess he didn't have time to send to you guys, so he texted a picture to me about the Diamonds 1 and 2 backstops. When we get to that, remind me, I'll show you what he sent, okay? All right, so I need an approval of the agenda with items B and C eliminated, and D, we'll change it to B, the backstops at White.
Motion to approve agenda.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
All right. Approval of the minutes of the August 28th, 2023 Park Commission meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Signing of per diem slips already done. Secretary's report. Nothing.
I'll just do, yeah, we'll get there, huh?
There, yeah, unless you got anything
No,
else.
no, no, no,
Okay.
the
Treasurer's
fact of it.
report.
Treasurer's report. So we've got our two mates to clean bills for August for Car Park and Samaria, with Car Park being $945 and Samaria being $630. And then Bright Lawn Landscape performed the work at Car Park, which the grass is coming in good. The grading looks great over there for the outfield, and the bill for that totaled at $9,440. And then T&J Excavating and Tree Clearing did the forestry mulching over at Samaria Park, and the total for that ended up being lower than what he had bid it at. The total ended up being $540 instead of $600.
Okay.
So the total of $11,555.
All right. Do we need to do the Brighton Lawn and Landscape separately, I believe, on that?
I mean,
Because the amount just,
not really.
Not really for
It's-
that?
I mean,
Okay.
I don't think we have to do it separately. I mean, it was voted for, like, we contracted them, it went through us, it went through the main township board. If you'd like to, we can.
well, I think it'll be fine. I think it's fine. Go ahead and make the motion.
Motion to approve the treasurer's report for the meeting date of 9/11/2023, for $11,555.
I'll second. Carol says aye.
Aye.
Aaron?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Community education, I did not receive a report from Nancy Crandall, so hopefully we'll have one for next meeting. And that brings us to presentations. Mr. Cook from the Bedford Lions is here to talk to us about help with some of the parks.
There's two subjects. Bob's gonna handle the construction side of the subject,
Okay.
and I've got another side of the subject. We had a Boy Scout and his father come to us looking for a possible Eagle Scout project. And knowing some of the things we've seen both at Car Park and Samaria Park, we've seen that some of those benches, the tables need scraped, sanded, and painted. Presented that to the Boy Scout. He would take that on as a project to paint. There's about a dozen to 14 tables that really need taken care of. He would take that on as his Eagle Scout project.
In addition, there are the tables at Samaria Park. There's about 6 boards that need to be replaced.
So the Lions are proposing we would take care of the cost of the Eagle Scout project and take care of replacing boards and whatever is necessary and take care of that cost. It just seems like a good win for
yeah.
for the park board and for the Boy Scout program.
Motion to approve along the Boy Scout project with the guidance of the Lions
Yes,
Club.
Yes.
we'll look over.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, I'll second. All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Second part.
Second part.
Second part.
Actually, there's two parts to it. One part we were talking about earlier, but simpler is on the ends at Car Park and Samaria, on the ends of the roof of the structure, some work is needed there. And we would like the authority to go out and purchase whatever is needed and repair those
Essentially end caps.
the end caps at the roof of Car and Samaria Park. No cost to the park board.
I motion to approve to allow the Lions Club to repair any
Can
necessary
I,
repair. Yeah,
wait,
you had questions?
are there these, like, projects in particular, of special interest, or you're just looking for any general
They're
projects?
the
I mean, like, why
original-
those?
We just, it's just
What?
a general consensus for the community. We put up those structures years
Oh,
ago.
so,
There's some,
okay, that makes sense.
we
We kinda
have
look
some of
after 'em.
the tuck points on the edges, and we just wanted to.
Okay.
We
Let's
have
say, you
our
wanna
own-
go through the laundry list of stuff.
No.
You might have
No.
bigger priorities, but if that's
Yeah.
what you're down,
No, no.
yeah,
We have
that's
our
cool.
logos on these
Yeah,
parks, on these shelters, so we want them to look good.
Good, okay, I see, I see.
Last
I
year
agree.
they did, I think it was Indian Creek. I
Yeah.
know that's not one of yours, but
Right.
we just
Yeah.
went in and took care of it.
Okay, excellent, sounds good. All right.
motion to approve the Lions Den or Lions Club? Lions Club, right?
Lions
Lions Club.
The Lions Club to make necessary repairs to the gable ends of the pavilions at Samaria Park and Car Park.
Yes.
Correct. Thank
All
you.
right, I'll second.
Cable ends, that's what
Cable
we're
ends,
looking for,
yeah.
thank you.
Very good.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion
Okay,
approved.
now the big one is the 9 of the 18 posts at Car Park, yeah, shelter, are rotting at the ground level. We went out and chased around and got some quotes. I gave you a couple copies of the one quote that we recommend is from Lydell in Erie, and they, to do just 9 posts, they wanted $8,800, and to do all 18 posts, I'm not sure, I don't remember the number, and you've got it there in front of you.
17, wasn't it?
I think it was 17.
$17,100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the advantage of what they want to do is they are going to put concrete, cut the posts off, clear out the rotted wood, put concrete down, and then put a metal cap on the end of the post bolted to the concrete. And the wood would then be above the ground level, so that it would not be in contact with rain and water and whatever, and again. And the concrete is raised up above, I've told them, more than 3.5 inches, so you can put a 2x4 form around sometime in the future and pour a new concrete base. So those were the things that I told them I wanted. I'm not a civil engineer, so I don't know all the details of that stuff. I'm just a silly old mechanical engineer. And the Lions are willing to donate $7,000 toward that project.
What we understand too with that the project is, we know township has to go through certain bid processes. I mean, you have a formal process. So we're just providing this information to you as to what we received when we went out there and talked to a couple of different vendors on this.
So we find someone who can do it for 14 or 15.
Whatever you have,
That's-
we're willing
Yes.
to donate
Okay.
$7,000 toward
Yeah, we'll
that.
have to get 2 more bids for the same
Yeah.
exact project, because it has to be
Yeah.
apples to apples.
Right.
Yeah,
And then
understood. And
we'll-
that's
we'll
gonna be
have to-
fun.
Yeah, I know, oh, believe us, yeah, it's,
I know.
And it's something that's not, let's say, dire need,
mhm.
but it,
Well, it's something we've
It
attempted
needs to
for
be
the last
done.
3 years to do. I
We've
mean,
been
yeah,
trying
it
to get-
does,
yeah.
yeah. And then once we figure that out, we'll have to vote on, we'll have to make sure we have the rest of the money on our
Sure.
end, which I believe we'll be
Yeah.
able to find it somewhere. And then, our board will have to vote on it, and then we'll have to go and present it to the main township board to vote on it, because it's
Right.
over $1,500. And then from there, we can hire them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if we can go with that, you know, keep it on record that we're committing $7,000.
yeah.
Right.
we wanna
No,
put
and,
that-
if
I'll
you-
get that on
in
there.
the- put it in the
Lydell said
minutes.
they would do the 9, they preferred doing all 18 because they thought it was better.
No,
They
no,
said that
ideally, that's what we would.
The
that's
9
what
would
our
be
goal was.
$8,800.
I mean, if we don't do all the 18 now, I mean, we're gonna have to do the other half.
At some point.
Sometime in the future, yeah.
So, in the township, it's not like it's gonna be gone in 10 years. It's gonna be here.
It's
Right.
used.
Yes, yes, especially car park.
Yeah.
So,
All right, sounds good.
That's what we
Okay.
had.
I think we're good. Before you gentlemen leave, if you would give your name and address for the minutes, our secretary
Oh,
here has got to.
Well, I'm not the secretary yet, right?
But you will be.
I know, right?
do they do that?
Just
Do they
stop
do
over
names
there
and
right
address?
now.
for-
Sure, here, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, that'd
Do
be
they do
easy.
names and address for presentations? Or is that just public?
Yeah, I don't know that that's necessary.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary.
You don't think it's
It's a
necessary?
presentation, not a public comment.
Okay.
Here, just put the Lions Club
Yeah,
address.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
there.
if you
That's
want to
good.
put that on there.
Okay. Lions Club.
You guys still meet Wednesdays at the restaurant near?
Yes.
7 o'clock?
First
Third.
and first and
First and, oh, yeah, that's right, not every Wednesday.
And then on the last Wednesday, we're right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Right in
Yeah, in this room.
All
That's why I
right.
said your
All right.
agenda is very similar to what we have.
All
Yeah,
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you all. You have
Yes.
a great night. Thank
Take
you for
care.
coming, I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Okay. Moving on here, let's go to what's going to be A, election of secretary due to current member resigning that office. So, having
guess it's
previously
me.
talked to Aaron, I said I
I
would
motion to
nominate
make
Aaron.
Aaron
Yeah.
All
secretary.
right, and I'll second. All in
Aye.
favor, aye?
Aye.
All right,
There we go.
all right, so we'll push Parmalee to next time, and we'll push the resolution for sale of park to the next meeting. So that brings us to what Chaz said he wanted to do tonight, and of course, he's not here to do it, but Lydell Power Cleaning and Painting, which I think, isn't that the same company?
Yes, that's the same company.
Okay, all right, we just talked about, they wanted to paint the backstops 1 and 2, diamonds 1 and 2. And he says $750 for each, including materials, so that brings us up to right at
$1,500.
$1,500. But he doesn't have 2 other bids, and he says we don't need to for this.
Yeah, we don't necessarily have, we
over-
don't necessarily have the money to go paint a backstop right now. I'm gonna be straightforward
Okay,
with you guys.
that's all right, yeah.
Well, no, we've gotta figure out money for the roof at Car Park. We've gotta figure out money for potentially the pavilions, the pavilion here at Car Park.
I know
I
his,
think I might have found the money to do the roof and the other
Oh.
maintenance projects we've already committed to.
okay,
But I don't think, I haven't figured out if there's even an extra $1,000 once we do that. And plus, we're gonna be pushing really tight to get through the rest of the next year if another major thing happens, like another roof leak somewhere or
right.
a water break or anything of that nature at the moment.
Well, we just have to go to the
Because normally,
township and
like-
ask for more money. I mean, if
Yeah.
it's maintenance, that's gotta
Yeah,
be done,
yeah.
it's gotta be done. But this
No,
year, right, this
definitely.
does not
I don't-
have to be done, right?
Yeah, so
Well, let's push it till next
it
meeting.
sounds reasonable,
because
especially paint's expensive. Paints
he'd-
are real expensive.
He'd like to get it done, in the fall,
Mhm.
but let's push it to next meeting because, again, he's not here, so.
Well, no, I
to
mean, I'm just
defend
letting
it,
you guys know now, I mean, I'm not, yeah, if you wanna put it the next meeting, that's fine too.
We can look at the
Yeah,
budget
somebody
between
want-
now and
yeah.
then maybe and see if it's doable.
Yeah, just right now, I'm gonna be honest, it's not, with the
Doesn't look
current
like it.
budget we have, it's not doable.
Okay.
Because to do the roof, we're gonna have to pull from the capital improvement plan. Or the assigned park fund, or ask the township board for more money.
What's
So-
capital improvement got on the, coming up? The pickleball courts is coming out of there
That-
theoretically,
no,
that's a big
nope,
one?
Nope, that's not, that's coming theoretically out of the assigned park fund, which used to be our rainy day fund. Our capital improvement fund only has somewhere between $24,000 and $26,000 in it.
Okay,
Um,
it's good enough for, from
Like
now
you-
till
So,
July.
which is,
One
yeah,
roof.
yeah, but that's gonna cover, like, so the roof at Car Park's gonna be somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000.
So I think part of it.
Part of it, and the rest is gonna be what's likely left of our maintenance budget. Once these other projects that had already been started and
So like,
whatnot.
where would skate park repairs come from?
We'd have to find the money, which we'd have to ask for. I mean, that's just all there is, we'd have to ask for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to the skate park, cause that maintenance went over there this week, I had them over there. I put in a list for Parmalee and sent it to them.
Mhm.
Oh, good.
So I put in a list for Parmalee and I put in a list for Samaria and said, yeah, go after it, please, and they did.
Is that why the benches were moved?
What, the
Oh,
tables? Oh, the
yeah,
tables,
yeah, the tables
no,
in the
I
skate
think
park?
they took them out. didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, good
Yeah,
job.
I didn't.
I was gonna just
I didn't
drag 'em
ask
out
I didn't
myself,
ask them
but
to
that's
take them
good.
out, but they took them out. I
Yeah,
asked,
yeah.
they attempted to move the bleachers,
That's too big, that's.
but that's what they said. They
Yeah,
can't
that's
get their
crazy.
equipment in there and too heavy to lift. He said he'll put more garbage cans in there, but he said they've done it before, and it's just more things for them to knock over and break.
Yep, like a little bit, I
But
don't know.
they said they'll attempt, I don't know if they did, but they, you know, for the most part, maintenance has been pretty good with when they tell me they're gonna do something, and
Yeah.
they usually keep their word on it, so.
For sure.
Did you wanna, since we're getting to the parks update anyway, you wanna go on with Parmalee, everything else you
So when I go to Parmalee,
said? Yeah, let's do
well,
that
we wait,
first.
let's keep it in order.
All right. All right, Ansted, I have nothing to say about Ansted, so that was quick. Cars Grove?
So they've got the surveying part of the engineering done for the pickleball courts. They went out there a couple weeks ago and did that, so. Like I said earlier in the treasurer's report, Brighton Landscape did the field grading, that looks good. The grass is growing really well over there. We've been lucky to have a lot of rain. They put in a water line and hooked it up in case we hit a drought, so the grass doesn't all die and we can water it. Well, the baseball team would be in charge of doing the watering,
Mm.
but yeah, so far it looks pretty good over there. Car Park's future looks bright, especially with what the Lions Club just came in here and had to say. I mean, that was great.
I drove by there this morning and there was so many people there
Mhm.
at like 10,
Yeah.
10:30. That's just regular,
I've seen
Playgrounds.
daycare buses.
Neighborhood,
I've seen
yeah.
whole daycare buses pull in there and just let a bunch of kids out and run before.
well, okay. I was wondering if
Like,
there
they're
was
not
like
there
a whole daycare. It looked almost like it was like a whole group of kids
Yeah.
or something.
Like they're not running a daycare there, as far as I know.
Right.
But like, yeah, like it's used. I mean, I see.
Heavily used.
Yeah.
Morning, weekday mornings.
I know when
yeah.
my wife takes the kids to the park. I believe that's the one they go to the most.
White and car. are the
White
two
is
big ones
nice,
for
but
sure.
there's not a lot of shade.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, sure.
where you struggle with White Park. Car Park's got
Cars
so much
is
shade with all the
wonderful,
mature
yeah.
trees there. And
Yep,
Yeah. yeah.
So,
really nice. All right, anything else on Parmalee?
well, that was car went on.
Oh, all right, yeah, all right. Sorry.
That's all right.
Anything else on car?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, Samaria?
Wait, should we keep going on Parmalee?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Parmalee.
go ahead.
Parmalee.
No, sure.
No, well, I mean, so the skate park, I mean, I've been looking for, providers or checking around just who could do the job theoretically. Eventually, we'd put something out for bid though, before any of it became official, so it's not like I
Yeah.
wanna, and like, how would we want, I don't wanna spend a lot of money, nor do we have a lot of money.
So
And, what do you think? Like, how would we
He's
proceed?
got
structurally, it
something
may
to
need to
say.
come down. Maintenance went over that, they were trying to screw the metal down,
Uh-huh.
and the screws were just stripping out. There was nothing it was grabbing into. And there's just boards that are rotted away underneath, and
So it's like the whole structure underneath is
Well-
going bad. It's not just the top where it pulls up. It's,
so.
Sure, I'm sure there's plenty of spots that are
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
we don't wanna rip it out, but then again,
well,
like,
maybe let's,
We don't want to without replacing it, but I don't know if we're gonna have much of a choice.
I was gonna say,
That's
let's
the
look and
problem.
see which, is everything falling apart? Because if it's only one section, just take that part down and leave the smaller ones, leave something for them to do there. you know?
Yeah, I'm just,
The problem is we need somebody, you know, that's willing to go in there and inspect it. and
Right, right.
Look
You
at
need an
every
engineer,
single board.
an engineer who knows something about it, you know?
right, and I mean, I wanna not spend 5 figures.
Yeah, no.
Like I was thinking like 5 to 8 grand of improvements, you know,
I think the skate
It
park's
is-
something we need to really consider in the capital improvement plan. So
Well,
what
there you go.
what they'll do is they're gonna basically budget out money and stick it, like, say,
you said
So
right now
much
the
per
capital
year.
improvement plan's got 20
Well, we
something in
all-
it,
they're,
20.
that's because,
which is fine, I mean,
that's because we didn't understand how it worked. Because the township just started doing it last year,
Right,
and they said, hey, we're gonna do this new capital improvement plan.
and they forgot
And
to
they sent
tell
out
us
a
how
bunch
to
of
do it.
paperwork, but there was there wasn't a lot of guidance, and everybody's learning, and
Yeah, I mean, for next
I had a
budget,
meeting with Jody
think
and
we'll be
planning
better,
last
but-
week about it, because they're the ones that are in charge of it and are heading it, and got a lot of good information on how it works, and basically, we'll figure out projects $5,000 or more, and they're gonna plan out as many years as you want. So if you think you need a new building in 50 years, they'll start sticking aside money
for it now.
every year, a certain amount for that project. If you need something in 2 years, something in 5 years, it's just a way, and it doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna save up every last penny that we're gonna need for it, but like, had we prepared better at Car Park, say, you know, this roof, we're lucky we're gonna have the $25,000, otherwise the 40 would be coming out of our budget, and we'd have to figure that out. So now, the 25 could cover the roof, part of it, and then maybe 10 to 15 is gonna come out of our budget.
it's all just line
That whole
items
thing.
though, right?
Yeah,
Ultimately,
yeah.
like it's the
Yeah.
line item
But they're
that's
gonna be-
chosen to put that number on.
Yeah, and the
in
way it is,
future
is you're gonna
net-
dedicate future money to specific things, and
Right.
people can't just come in and, from another board and take it, like, right now, our money can be taken out of the general fund, just about.
Mhm.
If the township needs it for something else that they deem more important.
I've just taken it in my mind that we have no budget and the township just allows things to happen that it feels are appropriate, and we are kind of like more an advisory board than an actual board.
Yeah.
Which is whatever, I mean, whatever, that's fine. But, so you're saying like there's a line item, it's capital improvements, they would like to see more placed into that line item preemptively.
Yeah.
So that as we go through the year, it can just be taken out of there for,
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Accounting
process,
purposes.
and there's a longer process to take it out of there than it is.
Sure.
Because then, not only do you have to go to the main township board meetings, but before then, you have to get approval from the planning commission
Yeah.
yeah, I got
on
you.
projects.
Well, back to the skate park, which preempted that discussion. I mean, I'm gonna keep looking around to see if there's any way that I can think that, you know, before next peak season, we could put 4 figures into it
Mhm.
at max, you know, not 10,000, or get a bid for something, or put bids out for something that would theoretically come back to be a 4-figure, you know, type improvement. But if that doesn't do the job, you know, we just don't do it. But then to think that, like, would we spend $10,000 or more for this thing, which is, you know, like, you don't reward bad behavior. And as much
Yeah.
as those young men who happened to be at the park that day that we had our meeting there seemed like nice young men, like, I still go there almost every day and clean up the skate park because they just
They
throw
do.
their garbage everywhere. And
Yeah.
sure, it wasn't those young men who throw their garbage everywhere, but there are clearly people who just throw their garbage everywhere. So
care.
it's like, are we gonna put a ton of money into a more colorful garbage can? I mean, what are we doing, you know? And so I don't really wanna go for that right now, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've been asking, looking around, trying to wrap my arms around it. I mean, even writing the specs, I kind of figured I would like give some basic specs to some companies and see what we get back. But, you know, because like even asking Manikin Smith or some other company to
That's gonna.
do that
Yeah.
would be $10,000 right there.
I'm
Maybe
not sure
if
that's like a
what-
Mannequin Smith.
I mean, if they make pickleball specs, they can make.
Yeah, well, no,
I'm
no,
sure
just
they
in
would-
terms of going under them ramps and looking for a rotted board or you know.
Yeah, would they do that? I'm not sure.
I
I
don't know. It's
I
an
don't-
ongoing thing that I'll continue to update everyone on as we do our meetings and.
Do we
next
know of
in-
another skate park like ours, made of that type of material because.
No, I guess
Blissfields might be that material, I don't know 100% for sure, but
Yeah,
they're
you should go look at
they're
Blissfields.
concrete. I just don't know, I went out there, you know, I was in high school, so
Right,
a lot of years ago.
I'll go look at the Blissfield one.
So I
know what
can't
you're talking
remember
about.
what it's
It's
made
gonna
of
be-
though. So,
maybe we could see.
It's
you know.
more of a bike park anyway, I mean, nobody skateboards
Now it
there.
is, yeah.
Which is fine, you know, it's really all about, you know, the community and what it needs for support, and, you know, there's
But on
a-
the other hand, take Chaz's idea, if we tear out the skate park, Chaz says we can make a bike park over there at White in the back, through all the woods, which I wasn't real sure we should do because of trees and liability, et
Samaria, no, he
cetera, et
wants to do it in
cetera.
Samaria.
He wants to do it in Samaria too?
So,
Yeah?
no, that's what he was talking about, Samaria, I don't remember him talking about a bike path.
He
at the
talked
bike park.
about at White, he said in the back, that woods area in the back.
Okay,
So it could go like around, I mean, you could go, you know, almost all the way around White Park next to that trail,
Yeah.
walking trail they got, and then go through
Yeah.
the woods and, you know, I don't know. So you make some hills and, I mean, we could talk about it some more, but maybe that's an option if we have to do away with the skate park or BMX bike park,
mhm.
which is what it really is. you
Right.
know. But
alright.
that's something else to talk about.
Ongoing.
All right, Samaria, moving on there, yeah.
I covered everything in Samaria already.
I think you
so
pretty much did, yeah.
Nothing else new there. I
Okay.
mean, the maintenance went over there, weeded the landscape, they weeded the playground area. They trimmed some, well, they're planning on trimming the branches back at the fence lines, but they're gonna line a few other projects up and take the chipper over there and do that and a couple other things at some parks all at the same time, so.
Okay.
And, they're gonna pick up some of they're gonna use their loader and scrape so where they did the forestry mulching, they're gonna scrape up some of the heavier debris off the top layer. And kinda, not really grade it, but kinda just smooth it out a little bit, and we're gonna throw some grass seed down and hopefully make it mowable. So we don't have to continue to do this every year.
Okay.
After he did this year, it looks pretty well ready for being able to do that, so.
Sounds like a good plan, sounds good.
mm.
All right, Wheeler, I have not been over there, I just got back yesterday, so I haven't really looked any of the parks. Did they take that tree down? Did,
I don't know, I haven't talked to them.
you haven't talked to them, okay, did you want, they did?
Yeah, yeah, you can talk
Okay,
to them.
all right, let me call them and see if they can get that tree taken down, at least the one. Okay, pocket parks.
You know, after that one, why don't we put the tree removal for Parmalee on the agenda? And they can go do that one next, theoretically, as long as once they get that one done.
Okay, you
Yeah,
got,
for next
there
time.
was two of them there, Carmen? Two trees?
Yeah, two.
Okay.
Carol, you're the one talking.
Which, well, I guess,
You're the
once
one
they're
talking about
down,
trees.
once they're down, maintenance will remove them. I mean, it's a little different at
Yeah,
Parmalee
they'll-
than Wheeler.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll remove, yeah,
chop 'em
yeah,
up.
yeah, but they gotta be on the ground, they're not cutting
Okay.
trees down.
That's fine.
Not at that size, they'll bring a little tree down if there's nothing around and maybe, but
Okay,
something of that size, they're not gonna.
right.
Let's see how they do with the Wheeler one first, I guess, and get that finished.
Well, they're just gonna drop it, they're,
Right,
you know,
right.
we're not gonna do anything else with it, because it's a preserve, so.
Get them out there, get them paid for
Got
it and everything, yeah.
All right, so anything else on the pocket parks?
No.
No?
Yeah,
Okay, all right, no complaints, that's good.
Yep, no news is good news.
Yep. Comments from the public, no public here, so that's done. Commissioners' comments. Aaron, do you have
That's okay.
anything to say? No?
I'll be the secretary again.
All right, thank you, Aaron.
Here I am to be.
Appreciate it.
Here we
And
go.
my suggestion would be, you know, go home, do it tonight.
I know, right,
You
do it
know,
right away,
It's
I
much
mean.
easier if you do it right away, because even with, when I was
amen.
doing it, if I didn't do it like the night of or the
Right,
next
right,
day
right.
at the latest, I would.
I was in the rhythm way back here, that's,
Yep,
I was
yep.
in the rhythm a couple years ago whenever I
Yeah.
stopped doing it last time, but we'll get there, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Anything else? Yeah.
Nothing for me. How about, anything else? You covered it all pretty good? All right. Next meeting, I've got Monday, September 25th at the Township. Hopefully, we'll be back in the main room by then. We'll see how that goes. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 That'll be a
Thank
quick
you.
one.